Hi, everyone, and welcome. It's the ICBA Daily News for today, Thursday, September 28th, 2023. I'm Jordan Bateman. I'm going to give you the heads up today on population shifts, BC finances, and housing starts trending downward. As always, for links to sources, go to icbaindependent.ca. We post them here on Facebook, but we can't because of the Trudeau government's foolish online news act and the silly slap fight they're in with Meta. All right, first story, and it's from Statistics Canada. They're out with their new population numbers, and Canada continues to climb, now more than 40 million people, calling the True North a strong and free home. Over the past year, Canada saw the highest population growth rate for a 12-month period since 1957, plus 3.3%. Just think about that for a second, folks. You talk about a housing affordability crisis. We increased the population by 3.3%, the highest since the baby boom in 1957. Almost 98% of that growth came from immigration, people coming to Canada. Now, the fastest growing province, Alberta, which not only saw out of country people move in, they also saw a record number of Canadians moving to the province. 56,245 Canadians moved from other provinces to Alberta from July 2022 to July 2023. That's the single highest annual net provincial gain ever recorded for any province in the history that Stats Canada has been tracking this. So you think back to that Alberta is Calling campaign. Oh, Alberta is calling, and people are answering. All right, moving to BC, the David Eby government, they released its first quarter fiscal report, and it's bad. It's ugly. I mean, it's bowling shoe ugly, even by free spending NDP standards. After Q1, Finance Minister Katrine Conroy says her deficit is now tracking to be $6.7 billion. That's $2.5 billion more than she projected in her budget just a few months ago. This comes on the heels of David Eby blowing billions of dollars out the door last year, rather than taking that surplus to pay down debt and preparing for this inevitable rainy day. They blame $1 billion of this increase on wildfires. First of all, you should be budgeting for wildfires in this day and age, especially governments who have such strong belief in climate change and the effects of climate on wildfires. Why aren't they budgeting more? Number one. Number two, this was for the first quarter, March 31st, so April 1st to April, May, and June. April, May, and June were not the biggest chunk of that wildfire cost. So I do wonder about that as well. But also in that fiscal update, and this is story number 3, was this little nugget. I don't know if you caught it, but the Eby government is now projecting BC housing starts to drop drastically next year, from the roughly 51,000 that we're on track for this year to 40-ish thousand in the next few years. That drop comes despite a big splash announcement from Housing Minister Ravi Kahlon, who rolled out targets a couple of days ago for 10 naughty list cities. These are the cities that he doesn't think are growing fast enough, and then he challenges them to grow by about 10% faster, hardly going to move the needle. Now, as Vaughn Palmer reported, that plan has very little incentive or punishment for the municipalities to meet those targets. And by the way, 7 of the 10 cities are already on track to hit them. So despite all that, we're still seeing a big drop in housing starts in BC. Anyways, this kind of mixes all these 3 stories together, doesn't it? You have more people coming to Canada, more people coming to British Columbia and Alberta, more people moving in, needing housing. You have a government swimming in red ink, and you have housing starts going down. Folks, I don't have to be the amazing Kreskin. I don't have to be Nostradamus to predict that housing is not going to become affordable anytime soon. I can't stress this enough. It's a CMHC stat. Right now, Canada builds about 220,000 homes a year. By the way, we've been doing that since the 1970s. 220,000 homes a year, every year since the 1970s. And we actually need to be building 830,000 a year, every year for the next 7 years, just to get back to a modicum of affordability in our housing market. So that's it for today. One more thing. Remember, it's Thursday Night Football. Green Bay Packers taking on the Detroit Lions. Big NFC North battle for first place. Go Pack, go. And I'll see you all tomorrow, hopefully on a victory Monday for the Green Bay Packers.